There's a foolproof way to take down the toughest machines in Horizon Forbidden West, even on ultra hard. Whether you're trying to get a difficult upgrade resource like Fireclaw sack webbing, or you just need to take on a particular machine you find challenging, you can use this tactic to easily and safely take them down. The first thing you need is a decent rope caster. I recommend either the Elite rope caster for sale in Thornmarsh, or the legendary Tie That Binds from the Burning Shores DLC. But even a blue rope caster will do the trick. You can pick up the Anchor in Scalding Spear or the Eventide in Saltbite. They're roughly equivalent. Now, we're going to use the ropecaster to tie down our target machine, and the most important thing to keep in mind is that you need to draw your ropecaster at least a little bit before releasing your shot to get it to attach to a machine's armor plates. You can tap fire a ropecaster, but it won't attach to armor plates, only unarmored areas. Machines are covered in a lot of armor, so you pretty much never want to tap fire. So first step is to attach enough ropes to build up the tie down state, which keeps your target machine immobilized for 90 seconds. If you're dealing with a group of machines, then you'll want to get them all tied down. Now, our goal is to keep the machine tied down while we deal a bunch of damage, both because it's obviously much safer, and it also makes it easier to aim at weak points and components for a damage boost. To get maximum damage, we'll also want to freeze them into the brittle state, which gives us anywhere between a 1.8 and 2x damage multiplier, depending on what we hit. Problem is, as you might already know, if you deal damage to a tied down machine, the tie down state quickly degrades and the machine will get free. However, there is a way to freeze them without letting them escape. See, machine armor blocks most of your ammo's impact damage, but it doesn't block elemental buildup. So while they're tied down, we can hit them in an armor plate with frost arrows to build up the brittle state without degrading the tie down state very much. It will degrade a little bit because frost arrows do deal a bit of elemental damage. Elemental damage is separate from elemental buildup. It's basically like impact damage, but it's really weak and the armor plates nerf it a bunch more. So we can safely freeze our tied down machine without removing the tie down state. The legendary Sunscourge Hunter Bow would of course be the best frost weapon to use here, but a purple or even blue frost bow will work as well. You can also use frost bombs on a blast sling, but the elemental pools on the ground will deal damage over time that degrades the tie down state more quickly. So they're not ideal. Whatever your frost weapon of choice, step 2 is to apply the brittle state by hitting a machine in an armor plate. Now, you might be thinking, that's great, but they're going to get free as soon as we deal any substantial amount of damage. And you're absolutely right, which is why we're going to make sure we deal so much damage that we kill them in one shot. The best way to do this is by targeting weak points and components with a bolt blaster, specifically while using the sustained burst weapon technique. Sustained burst unleashes your entire clip of bolts like a machine gun. Of course, this deals a bunch of damage, but it also deals that damage in a rapid series of smaller hits, which is key because it tends to stun lock machines, especially when hitting components. So even after the tie down state is removed, they'll pretty much be stuck in place until you finish the sustained burst. But before doing it, we need to make sure a few things are set up to maximize damage. Of course, a more powerful bolt blaster will be better. The legendary Blast Forge is my top pick, but the purple Relentless works well too. A blue bolt blaster might be okay on normal difficulty or lower, but unfortunately, the clip size on the blue ones is so much smaller that they aren't very effective on higher difficulties. Next, we'll want to make sure our bolt blaster is coiled properly to boost its damage as much as possible. Close range, long range, or concentration coils are good choices for a bolt blaster when using sustained burst. I personally prefer to go with close range for this strategy. If you don't have a full set of purple coils, you can just fill in with blue. You'll also want to use a Valor Surge to boost damage even more. If you're targeting just one machine, then your best option is Ranged Master, which will give us a 100% damage boost if fully upgraded. In other words, double damage. But if you're dealing with a group of machines, then I would definitely prefer Chain Burst, which will let us target one machine and chain damage to all the others nearby. Okay, so we're all set up to go. Step 1, sneak up and tie down the target machine. You can use smoke bombs to make this easier. Step 2, apply the brittle state by hitting an armor plate to avoid degrading the tie down state. Step 3, trigger the Ranged Master Valor Surge, and step 4, target a weak point or component and unleash the sustained burst weapon technique to deal a bunch of damage. Now, in most cases, that full sustained burst should be enough to kill your target, but if it didn't, just pop a smoke bomb right away and immediately tie it down again. It'll probably still be frozen and your Valor Surge might even still be rolling, so you can just go straight back into another sustained burst. Now, if you're using this strategy for a group of machines, like we said before, you'll want to use Chain Burst instead of Ranged Master. I would also recommend triggering chain burst before applying frost, because it will chain the frost buildup to other machines as well. And if you have to do a second round of damage with a group, don't bother with the second tie down. Just go straight into damaging one of them again after popping smoke. Trying to tie one down will alert the others, and they should all be very weak at this point anyway, so they should go down pretty quick. Now, as you saw, the fact that armor plates nerf impact damage but allow elemental buildup is the key to this strategy, and there's a bunch more hidden combat mechanics like that the game doesn't tell you. So to learn about them all, you'll want to check out this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there in just a second.